Good morning, Stitchy friends. It's Dee Stitcher here, back with you. I decided to come back and make floss tube videos. I saw that Carolyn, she's changed her name to the Floss Tube Stitcher, has made her great return, which us old floss tubers are oh so excited to see her back. And although she's been on Instagram, it's so nice to be able to see her and hear her voice once again. So I decided she can do it, I can do it too. So I've made a comeback, and today I'm going to show you my WIPs. I have my paper here in front of me, and I have all my WIPs here, I think. I've lost my Stitchy Bug. When I started work, I work in education as a educational assistant, and so when I returned back to work, I lost my Stitchy Bug. And so I haven't been stitching for the past couple of years, but I think last year I got back into it, and so I'm back stitching again. So I thought I would make my great return. If you are a returning viewer of my floss tube channel, I just wanted to say thank you so much for sticking with me in all my years of absences. I really appreciate all the people who continue to watch and support me. If you are new here, I hope that you find something that you enjoy. I'm quite an eclectic stitcher. I have a bit of everything, and I hope that you stick around and watch and click the subscribe button and like my video, and I hope you find something that you enjoy. All right, let's get to it. If you hear any commotion during the making of this video, that's because I am a foster mom to a mom cat and her little baby. Just a second. This here is Jasper. She is a foster kitty. She is available at my local Humane Society in Lac-La-Biche, Alberta, Canada. That's where I'm from. And so this is Jasper. Say hello, Jasper. So if you hear cats, this is why. Her and her mom are playing, and so that's what's going on. But let's get started. So my oldest WIP, which is Howling from Tilton Crafts, I started this in March in 2014. That's a long time ago. It's almost 10 years ago. Unfortunately, it's rolled up because I'm working on it right now. It's one of my main WIPs that I am trying to concentrate on. And so it's rolled up. But this is Howling. I will find a picture and I will put it up and show you what it's supposed to look like right here. And so all the top is done. And now I'm just working on this side here. There's an eagle coming in, and there's some mountains, and it's going to be a beautiful piece. But yeah, this is one of my main focuses for 2023. My next two WIPs are right now UFOs because I'm not working on them right now, and I have not worked on them in several years. The first one is When Dreams Come True. Now this is from an old designer who no longer makes charts anymore, and the designer has since passed away, but his charts are available at Heaven and Earth Design. But before that, he was with Love Thy Threads, and this is called When Dreams Come True. Now, I do plan on getting back to this. I just can't stitch a whole bunch of full coverage charts at the same time because I just want to focus on one large piece. So I started this May 1st, 2014. So 2014, I know I finished a lot of pieces. I think last year I finished a lot of pieces that were older WIPs. But 2014 I seem to have a starting bug because I started a lot of pieces. So this is what I have done on When Dreams Come True. I started up here. I started this at a retreat I went to in Alberta from the Frame Corner in Edmonton. I went to a stitching retreat there with Catherine Lee, and I started this at one of her retreats. What year? Oh, 2014, obviously. And then I went over here because I wanted to do the lamp. So yes, it's all, you can't see it, but it's all gridded, and it's been counted and everything. Hopefully it works out. I counted and recounted way back in 2014. So that's one. I will get back to this one eventually. I love his pieces. Bev was a great create. Shelley was her name. She was a great chart designer who has since stopped making charts. My next chart is from Charting Creations. I bought this chart back when Nikki first started designing her own charts. This was one of the first ones that she charted. And this is called Buono Appetito? I don't know, I'm not saying it right. Here's the picture. I'm butchering it. So this is the chart. I started this in June of 2015. And this is where I got to. This is going to be huge. It's on, oh, I'm not even telling you the counts. See, I'm so out of sync here. Howling is on 22 count, 2/2. This one is on 18 count, 2/2. And this one also is on 18 count, 2/2. Right? Yes. And this is what I have done on that one. Yes, I plan on getting back to this as well, but who knows when. So on to the next. So my next piece is Snow White. I worked on this last year. I tried WIP Go last year, but it didn't really work for me. I don't like being told what to do. I want to stitch, especially with my Stitchy Bug being gone for so many years. I wanted to just stitch on what I wanted to stitch on and start what I wanted to start, and I didn't want to be told what to stitch. And so I think I only did it for like 2 months, and then I quit WIP Go. But Snow White was on my WIP Go board because I wanted to get more of this done, and I did stitch on it quite a bit last year. It is on 18 count kit fabric. I started this October 29th, 2016. I started it with Brittany from Ingleside Imaginarium. We decided to start this rather than Halloween pieces. I don't stitch Halloween pieces. It's just not my forte. So I started this instead with her. I think she started Pinocchio or something. I don't remember. But this is what I have done. It's not very much. The fabric is 18 count, like I said, and I'm stitching it with the kit thread and everything. So this is what I have done so far. My ultimate goal on it for this year would be, as you can see, I've quartered it up. I do that to make sure, because sometimes when you do kit fabrics, the fabric for some reason doesn't fit, and so I wanted to make sure that I count out. You can see that I have some thread here, so I count it out and I make sure that the piece is going to fit on the fabric. And I do that with all my pieces, even the things that I chart myself. I figure them out with a piece of thread to make sure that it's going to be big enough. I would like to finish this quarter, is what I would like to do. This is not something that I'm aiming to finish right away just because it's an old piece. It's not something that I enjoy working on just because of the thread that it comes with, the fabric that it's on, and it's not an easy chart to read. And so as much as I love the end piece, it's not that easy to stitch on. And so I figure if I just do a little bit at a time, then we'll get somewhere eventually. And so I would like to see this quarter finished this year. We will see what will come of it. My next piece is, see, according to my notes here, there was a year-long break in starting stuff and maybe even stitching stuff. This might have been when I was going to school and I didn't have time to do a whole lot of stitching because I was going to school. But my next piece is a chatelaine water garden. It's done on 28 count even weave. I have not pulled this out probably since 2018. It's been in this, my big huge scroll rod from Quantum scroll frames or whatever they're called. And I haven't looked at it since then. This was started in January. This is my new year, new start in January 2018. So we're jumping 2 years, 2 years ahead from my Snow White. And I did a fair bit. When I did it. So this is upside down, so I will just... So this is what I have done on my chatelaine water garden. I did absolutely love stitching on this when I was stitching on it. I love pieces that are symmetrical. And so, my cats are being crazy. It's Mama Cat and Baby Cat. I think Mama Cat was kind of a kitten when she became a mama too, so she's got quite a lot of energy as well. Anyway, I got distracted. I like symmetrical pieces, and I like specialty stitches, and I like fancy threads, and so it has everything that a girl could ever dream of. So I actually really enjoyed stitching on this piece when I was stitching on it. I need to find a way to bring it back somehow. We'll see what this year brings, but it's not really in my plans for this year unless I fit it in somewhere. So next. So my next two pieces are kits that I got from AliExpress. They are on printed fabric. I figured that going to school I wanted to stitch, but I didn't want to have to think. I don't have to think, because with a chatelaine you gotta think, and with a tilt and craft you gotta think. You know, those big pieces you gotta think. And sometimes they take a lot of brain power, but with these charts. You don't have to think because it's printed fabric and it's 11 count, and I mean, it's easy. So I ordered 2 kits from AliExpress. The first piece is, I call it running horses. This is what it is. Gonna be like, I have not seen it anywhere. I don't know. I haven't seen anything like it anywhere except for on AliExpress. And so it's too big to put the entire thing in. It's unprinted, so you're not stitching the whole piece. Let me just explain that to you. So this is the piece. It's huge. It's going to be huge. Now all I've stitched is this. I've stitched the white horse, and now I'm working on the brown horse. So none of this is stitched. This is all just printed on. And you stitch just the horses. So that's what I have done so far. I don't really work on this. I call these next 2 kits, my Chinese kits, my retirement charts, because I'll probably be working on them when I'm older and I can't see that good anymore, and I need a larger count, and I need a printed fabric, and you know, blah blah blah. So I don't really work on these a whole heck of a lot. Maybe I pull them out maybe once in a blue moon. I'll pull them out and I'll work on them. But I mean, the amount of stitching you get done in one session is not really all that much. Ooh. I must say that I do really enjoy the threads. They are soft and they are fluffy. And this is stitched on 11 count, 3/1. It's 11 count. But the stitches are, I make really nice stitches as long as you don't have too long of a length of thread, which is the key with the fluffy thread. So that is that one. My next piece is, a lot of people have actually picked it up, is it's called sorry, I'm out of frame. It's called European Town, and I know a few people who have found it and are working on it. I don't know if they're actually working on it. Maybe they are. I don't know. They bought it. Whatever. Zippy zippy. So this is European Town. I started this, so I started them both in September 2018. So January I started chatelaine, and then I didn't start anything or probably stitch on anything except for the chatelaine until September. And so I was obviously going to school then. I did not have a lot of stitchy time. I may have even started working then, which is what really actually killed my Stitchy Bug. All those years that I was making floss tube videos, I was a stay-at-home mom. I was a stay-at-home mom for 10 years, and so I have 3 girls. They are now 10, 11, and 12. Nope, 10, almost 12, and 13. Sorry, that's how old they are now. One is 10, one will be 12 in a week or 2, and then I have a 13-year-old now. But back when I made floss tube videos for you all, my kids were just wee little tots. And so I did a lot more stitching, and I had a lot more time to do videos. And so when I went to school and then I went to work, it basically killed it, because I work in education, as I said, an educational assistant, and some days it's really, really hard. And so I don't have the energy, and I'm really tired at the end of the day. So, but this is European Town. This is what, it's a huge piece as well. It's printed canvas. This is on 14 count. This one's on 14 count. See, it's all printed on there, and it'll tell you what color to stitch and Oh, it's just a great piece for when you have sore, tired eyes, or you can't see like 28 count or 32 count or 36 count, or, you know, I call this my retirement piece because I'll probably work on this when I am old and my eyes are weary. But this is what I have done so far. I'll show you the back just because it's easier to see what I have done on the back. So that's what I have done so far. I have done back stitching as I go because it is quite, there's some back stitching. So there's back stitching in the roof. And so that's all that I have done. This is not a piece that I work on. If I am tired and I just don't want to concentrate, then maybe I'll pull it out and work on it. But it's not something that I work on a whole heck of a lot. I think I will be saving these two pieces for, as I said, when I get older and things are not as easy to see. Sorry for the zippy. My next piece that I started is European Beauty. Let me just get that one for you. My next start was Eastern Beauty. She's done on 16 count. I can't seem to find the pattern right now, but I will put a picture right here. I've seen her actually stitched up at a cross-stitching retreat, and she's absolutely fabulous. I haven't gotten anywhere near done as much as I would like. This is all that I have done on her so far. I'm doing the background first because the background is very boring. I'm finding it very difficult. The chart is difficult to read. And so that makes it really hard, and the colors are really dull. And so once you get to the lady, she's going to be fabulous. And I'm going to bling her up with Krennic, gold thread, and beads. And she's going to be fabulous when she's done. But to get to that point is another story. And so we will plug away at this one. And she will get done when she gets done. We'll see how she fits into the plans for this year. Sorry, that's the kitty. My next piece comes 1 year later, new year, new start. It is the Linen and Threads Peacock Mystery Sampler thing. I got as far as, let me just take this out and show you. I got as far as the peacock that year, and the peacock is all that I did until this, like last year, the end of last year. I pulled it out to maybe November, December. I pulled it out, and I decided that I was going to start stitching on it again. And so 2019, all I did was the peacock, the outline, and the peacock. So that's what I did in 2019. Here's my peacock. It is very sparkly. Let me see. Of course, the camera never picks up sparkle the way you want it to. But the feathers are all very sparkly. You're not going to be able to, it's not picking up. It's very sparkly. So then when I picked it up again at the end of last year, 2022, I did the swans. Actually, it's only the 2nd of January, so what I've done so far was done at the very end of last year. Did the swans. I did that. Black and white swans. And to be symmetrical, I had to make the squirrels black and white as well, except the opposite, you see. They're the opposite. Is that coming out? Yeah, that's coming out. Sorry, it's been a while, guys. So there's the swans. And then the bottom is the opposite, the squirrels. And then on New Year's Eve, I tried to do the 12 by 12. I didn't do new starts, but I did WIPs. And I think I only got to 7 before I had to, do other stuff. But on New Year's Eve, I started this block right here. So I will be continuing on with this year, and hopefully I will get this finished. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the outside border, 7 blocks to do. So I'm sure that I can squeeze it in and work on it. These blocks don't take too terribly long to do, maybe 2 or 3 days, maybe. We'll see. So that is the Peacock band sampler. The next piece I did was not till another whole year later. This is when I was losing my Stitchy Bug. I was sad that I was losing my Stitchy Bug, and so I was trying to get it back. I started a piece called The Flying Owl. It's a Russian kit. Let me just get it for you. So this is Flying Owl. That's what I call it because I can't read Russian. I got it back in 2020. So this was before COVID. This was before the wars. I ordered the Russian. I actually have a lot of Russian kits that I ordered in my stash before the war happened. But this is Flying Owl, and I will show you what I have done on it. Back in 2020, I had only done a little bit of it. It's going to be a long piece, as you can see. It's very long. When I started it in 2020, I only had a little bit of up here done. Maybe I'll show you a picture because I do post and I do keep up on Instagram. And so if you do follow me on Instagram, you'll see this and how far it was when I started it. And then I picked it up again. Last year I picked it up again and I finished the whole middle part. So it's the head and the back feathers. And so this year I plan on doing one wing. And then next year I'll do the other wing. This was a leap year start. I started this February 29th, 2020. And my goal was to have it done for the next leap year, which is not this February, but next February. So I want to have this done by the next leap year. So we'll see what I can get done on this guy. That is him so far. He is quite striking. Look at those eyes. Okay. So the next piece, I didn't start for another 2 years. 2 years I stopped stitching and I did not do anything. I didn't stitch my WIPs. I didn't start anything. I didn't do anything. If I did anything, it was on those Chinese kits, which was every now and again. That was all I did. So the next piece I did was Pandemic. And this is back when I was filming last year I was giving it a whirl during COVID. I got COVID and hence why I started Pandemic. I started this Pandemic on January 31st. That is the day that I got COVID. I had to stay home for 5 days. I was sick for 3 of those days. But I was very tired for a long time after that. That's what happened to me in my COVID-ness. I was healthy enough that I could sit up and I could stitch, and then I would go lay down, and I would get up and stitch and go lay down. I had to stay in my room. My family got to be in the house and I lived in my room. So I stitched, and I stitched on pandemic, and so this commemorates when I got COVID. I started it on that date. This is all that I got done. This is 28 count. Sorry, I'm not telling you the fabric again. This is 28 count. This is stitched with Silk for You silk. I have a hank of it. I don't know the color. There's no color. It's just a turquoise. It's my favorite color. So this is what I have done so far. That's what I got done before I got distracted with other things, because this is when my Stitchy Bug started to come back, and I started stitching again, and then I got into all the things. And so I did really enjoy stitching on this. I like just taking one color thread and just going away with it. I really enjoyed this piece, and I hope to get back to it this year somehow. We'll see. The next piece that I started is called The Patient Stitcher from Tempting Tangles. I started this on February 2022. This is what it looks like. I went to my local LNS store in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I went to go get threads for a project that I needed. I don't know what I was getting, but I saw this stitched up on their wall at the Craft Connection. That's where I go shopping. And this was hanging on the wall, and it says, if you can't read it, stitching doesn't take patience, it teaches patience. And I thought that that is oh so true. And I work in grade 1, and you need a lot of patience when you work with the littles. And so I thought the teaching part of it was special to me. And so I picked that up, and I wanted to do it on a dark fabric. So this is a navy fabric. I believe it is 28 count. Might be 32. I am using specialty threads on this. I am using, I'll show you. Let me just dig it out. I'll show you first. Excuse my... So that's what I have done so far. I do find it hard to work on because it's dark fabric. It is winter right now, and it's very dark. And so I plan on picking this back up in the springtime when we get more sunlight, so it's easier to see. But this is what I have so far. So I am using Fiberlicious silk on one of them. It is called Autumnal Woodland. And this is what it looks like. I'm doing that on this part right here, the border part, I guess. I'm doing that. Autumnal Woodland. The pattern part, the white or yellow part, I'm doing it in white, is a water lilies, sorry. It's a water lilies, and it is almond. I'm doing it in almond. Let me just get the thread out. Here's the thread. It's just a cream colored thread. It's a bit variegated, but not too bad. And then another thread is the blue is it's not pure silk, but it is very silky, and very shiny. It's a de Havilland thread. I believe she gave her a whirl at dyeing thread, and she gave me some of her beautiful thread, and I'm using it. Here it is up close if you can see. So that's what I'm using for the words. And so that's that piece. I will be getting back to it, like I said, in the springtime when I get more sunlight and it's easier to see through the fabric. See the holes. Because right now it's very, very difficult. So I have it put away right now. The next piece I started is 101 Alphabet. I started this in March of 2022. I started this with my friend Mary on Instagram. She talked me into starting. She said, I'm only going to work on it on Sundays. I'm like, I can do that. I can work on it on Sundays. And so that's what I do. I work on it on Sundays. And I've been working it on Sundays since March 22nd, 2022. And I actually really enjoy working on this piece, as daunting as it is, the size that it is. Let me show you. I did Anaphorus Grows a long time ago. If you watched my floss tube in the past, you will have seen that I did Anaphorus Grew. I changed the poem in the middle of the tree. I don't know, it wasn't mine. I borrowed it from somebody. Somebody else did the same poem. And maybe I'll show that to you. I'll show that to you here. And yeah, so I borrowed that. I can't remember who though. It was so long ago. I can't remember. But it was not my own poem. I did not take it or find it or chart it or anything. So now I'm doing this one. It is very daunting. It is like a blanket, and I call it my blanket because it's so big. It's done on 32 count. It's done on 32 count. 2/2 using DMC. I am putting in bits of silk. Where's the silk that I'm putting into it? Every now and again I'm adding Fiberlicious. I love Fiberlicious. I've been buying from her since she first started dyeing thread, and it wasn't this kind of thread. It was a different kind of silk that she was dyeing, and then she moved into fabrics, and she's doing an absolutely fabulous job. Gwen is an absolutely stunning dyer for both threads and fabrics. But anyway, I'm using this. It's called Opal Galaxy. I don't know if it's coming out okay or not. It's blues and greens and purples. That's what's in here. I will show it to you better on my piece that I have here. This is my piece. And just so you know, a little tidbit, I like to keep my projects in chocolate boxes. I find that it's a good way to keep my projects, and it's reducing, reusing, and recycling, which is what I like to do. So I have a lot of my projects in tins, you know, the tins that you get wafers in or chocolates in at Christmas time. I recycle them and I put my projects in it, and I have all my, and surprisingly there's not that many colors for this project, and they can all fit in here, and I can just go through them. They're all labeled and stuff, and you can easily find what you're looking for in this box. Anyway, it's the project. Okay, are you ready? this, can you get it all? This is what I have done so far. I'm almost done the second layer of pages. So this is the first page, and then this is the second page. So then I only have this part to do. I hope to get this to the end of here by the end of the year. Sorry, I had a blank. And all of this needs to be done. It's going to be huge. It's a blanket. I call it my blanket on Instagram because that's exactly what it is. I'm 5'10", and you know, it's from my feet. It goes up to, like, the fabric is at the floor at my feet, and then it goes up to here. So, and I'm 5'10". So, yeah. So I'll show you that thread that I sometimes add every now and again. It fits in with the color scheme, so that's why I'm doing it. So that's it. This alphabet right here is what I did. Well, it's scattered throughout as well. Where else is it? Oh, here too. And this alphabet here is Opal Galaxy. This one right here. See how it comes out variegated like that, and it fits in with all the other colors. So it's just a little pop of something different because it's going to be a big piece, and you need to just add a little bit of oomph to it, I guess. So I found my next project, and as I found my next project, I found Eastern Beauty. So if we could just backtrack for a moment, I'm just going to show you Eastern Beauty. Which I'm glad I found her because it's got charges in there, and I can't do it because there's no PDF. So this is her. Isn't she beautiful? So I'm going to be adding Krennic, I'm going to be adding gold thread, I'm going to be adding beads and gems and whatnot. She is absolutely stunning when she is stitched up. I have seen her stitched up, and anyway, back to my next piece. This is when I got back into FlossTube and watching FlossTube, and my Stitchy Bug was picking up more, and I was discovering all of these new FlossTubers. I come back to watching FlossTube again, and all the people that I had watched in the past, well, not all of them, there are still a few that are out there, like Jessie Marie is still out there, and Pam's Crafty Corner is still out there, and Allie from Australia. I don't know what's her FlossTube name. Anyway, her name's Allie. She lives in Australia. She still does them once in a while, I think. Anyway, I used to watch so many people, and a lot of them just disappeared, just like I did, because life happens, and it's just the way it goes. So there's all these new FlossTubers that were that are out there, and oh so many. And I found Stitching Moon. She is one of the FlossTubers that I enjoy watching nowadays. A new FlossTuber. Well, I would consider, I don't know if you guys would consider her new, but I would consider her new because full coverage patterns. She is living in Norway, and so she has some Norway patterns that she takes pictures and then she turns them into cross stitch. And so I bought Valley of the Trolls from Stitching Moon, and I started this on May 2022. This is all that I have done so far. Oh, let me show you the picture. Jeez Louise. Okay. Sorry. This is Valley of the Trolls. It's a mountain in Norway. You can see the face of the troll right here. I just think this is an absolutely beautiful piece. And like I showed you before, this is all that I have done so far. The top left corner. I will see what I can do to get back to stitching on this. I stopped stitching on it because I got distracted with all the other pretty little things like you do when you get back into stitching. So we'll see what I can do to fit this back in, even if just for a week or so, every now and again. We'll see. My next piece, I want a giveaway from Blushing Pink. Put up her floss tube here. I watch her. I watch her regularly. I watch her whenever her videos come out. Blushing Pink. She just started, actually. Yes, she just started making full coverage patterns herself, and she's on Etsy. Where is she? She just started making patterns on Etsy. So you should go check her out. I will put her name here. Anyway, I won a giveaway from her, and she was so kind to send it to me. She lives in England, and she sent this all the way to me from Canada, and I thank her so much for doing. Sorry, my daughter is making faces. She sent this all the way to me. I won her giveaway, and she still sent it to me with the pricing of shipping and all that. Bless her. I won this, and she sent it to me, and I'm stitching in it. I'm stitching this one here. This was my first pattern that I decided to stitch. I call it Family. I don't really know what it's called, but I call it Family. It says, family are people in your life who want you in theirs, the ones who accept you for who you are, who would do anything to see you smile, and who love you no matter what. That is the first pattern that I chose. As soon as it came in August, I decided to start it up. This is where I am on it so far. I will be continuing to stitch on this year. In my school we have a thing called Family Fridays, and that's where you just have Fridays off and you get to be with your family. And so I plan on working this on my days off, on my Fridays off, on Family Fridays, because it's called Family, and so I'll be stitching on this on those days. I'm using all the called for thread, and this is on a 22 count fabric. That's what I have done so far. My next start was falling snow, and I decided that I would start this on our first snowfall of the year. I live in Alberta, Canada. It is very cold here. I will show you pictures of our snow. We have lots of snow. It's very cold. And our first snowfall where it actually stayed was November the 2nd, 2022, and that's when I started this piece. This is my piece. Oops, sorry. Pattern. Jeez. Okay. This is my progress so far. I stitch on this on snowy days. And this is what I have done so far. This is like page 1. Now I'm working on page 2. This is 20 count opalescent. It is from Cascade Fabric, Color Cascade Fabrics in Australia. There's no color on it except Opal Baby Blue is what it was called. It didn't have a name. I think maybe it was just a practice piece for her or a one-off, or I don't know. It's not, I don't think it's something that is in her regular line. Does she even still dye fabrics? I haven't even looked. But it is opalescent. You can see the sparkle there. You can't see it because it doesn't show up, but this is also sparkly. I plan on doing the snowflakes in sparkle. The big snowflakes will all be sparkly because if you didn't know, snow is sparkly outside. When you go for a walk outside, the snow sparkles because it's ice crystals, right? And so the snow has to be sparkly. So that's where I will plan on working on this piece until the end of February. By the end of February, I'm not going to want to stitch on anything wintry. I'll say that's enough. Spring needs to come, even though it doesn't come till May in my part of the world. You don't see spring until May, but I'm not going to be stitching on this after February, after the end of February. And then I'll pick it up again once we get our first snowfall, well, this year, in probably November. Whenever it decides to snow, right, Naomi? I guess. Do you want to come say hi? No? Okay. Next. We're almost done. Where is that one? The next piece that I decided to stitch on is a Christmas piece. Last year I finished up on the rooftop. It took me 8 years to do that piece. I will show you a picture of it right here. The reason it took 8 years is because I only stitch on it in the winter months. And not even the entire winter months. I start on it actually I started it in September, and I would stitch on it until Christmas Day, basically. And after Christmas Day, I would put it away. I'll show you my dog Zoe. She just came in. She's a Great Pyrenees. She is a guardian dog. She come in to say hi. Pardon for all of the animal interruptions, but we are an animal house here. There's Zoe. We have another Great Pyrenees named Gallagher. I don't know where he is right now, but that is Zoe. Anyway, I would stitch on up on the rooftop from September to December 25th, and then I would put it away. So that's basically only 4 months of stitching on it every year. And I finally finished it last year, and it's hanging up. Well, it's not framed, but I will show you a picture of it like I said. So now I needed a new Christmas piece because I needed a new one. So I bought this pattern. It even tells me when I bought it. It's a PDF from Ursula Michaels. It's called Main Street Holiday. I bought this back in 2013. See, it has my name on it, and it has when I purchased it and all that information. And so I bought this back in 2013, and I decided, well, enough time has passed. It's been 10 years. Might as well start it. So I did. And this is what I got done. I started this on November 20th, 2020. I stitched on it until Christmas Day, or I think whenever I got this first house done. This is the first house. There is sparklies in it, but you can't see, like the tree has sparklies in it. This is gold thread here. The snowflakes are sparkly, which are not completed, but so I've wanted to do the first house. Next Christmas season, I will do another house, or however many houses I get done. It's a real fun piece to stitch on. So now we are at 2013. I had 2 new starts yesterday. A few years ago I bought the magazine, The Gift of Stitching. It is a digital magazine. They have it on sale where you can buy all like 70 something issues for so much. Anyway, it's an absolutely stunning magazine. If you ever get a chance to purchase it, it's digital, and they have stunning patterns in there. One of those stunning patterns is the Double Dutch sampler. Pardon me. I will show you another chocolate box. This is a chocolate box. I just put masking tape on there and to say what it is, then I can rip it off and I can use something else. Started this yesterday, as I said. New year, new start. This is the Double Dutch sampler. It is from Diane Jordan from Sampler Cove Designs. This is from issue 17, if you're wondering. Issue 17, page 10. And so this is what I'm stitching. I am using Gloriana. Now it does call for Gloriana. The Gloriana it called for my local L&S didn't have, so she subbed out some threads for me. They are still the same color scheme. So the red is Schoolhouse Red. The blue will be Northern Lights, which is perfect because I'm in northern Alberta. And the gold will be Antique Gold. Can you? Oh my gosh, he's after my needle minders. Sorry, this is Timmy. Timmy is 1 year old. He's still a little troublemaker. And he was trying to get my needle minders. Go away. Go. Shoo. Shoo, shoo, shoo. He's such a troublemaker. Oh my gosh. And now all my thread is everywhere. Okay. I got it. Okay. Got everything under control. Those are my threads that I'm using. That's the pattern. And I will show you what I got done yesterday. This is what I have done so far. I got that done yesterday. Just the top. Now it's going to go down. Today I'm going to fill in the blue, and then the next day I'll fill in the gold, and then I will make my way down. Blah, blah, blah. That's my plan for this one. I plan on working on this for 5 days out of the month. That's good enough. I have lots of projects to work on. And my last pattern that I worked on yesterday is a tile sal from Cliffside Stitches. It is the cross stitch tile sal. I just found this a couple of weeks ago and I decided to do it up. So I got the first square tile done and I will show you that. So this is my 18 count fabric. The double Dutch sampler is done on 32 count Dune from Chromatic Alchemy. 1/2 is what I am doing that on. Cliffside tile style. This is all I have done so far. I'm only going to be doing one tile a month, so this is basically complete for the month. But today I'm going to go and make the border till the next tile and make the square for next month's tile, so that it's ready to go. So then when February comes, I just have to stitch what's in the next tile, and they're all going to be different. But I chose this, and this is what I have done so far. So those are all my WIPs that I have so far. That comes to 19 WIPs. I will not be stitching them all this year, as I told you. I do have a goal of trying to stitch on Howling for 100 stitches a day. I think that is something that's doable. It's very easy to do 100 stitches. Doesn't take long. A confetti piece might take you an hour, and if that's all that I do, that's all that I do. And then if you're in a chunk of color, doing 100 stitches is like nothing. You could do that lickety split. I do plan on continuing with my double Dutch sampler. I do continue to work on my tile. My falling snow will be only worked in the winter months while it's snowing. I will pull out my flying owl in the fall. I will pull that out in probably September. I feel like that would be a good fall piece. And my Peacock sampler, I'm going to work on that until it's finished. And the Patient Stitcher I will work on in the spring and the summer, in the months where it is daylight and the holes will be easier to see. Family I will work on my Family Fridays, like I said, and I will work on that until it gets done, however long that takes. It is January, so we still have January, February, March, April, May, and June. We still have 6 months of school left, and so I could probably get that done in the 6 months of school that we have. And Main Street Holiday will be done in the Christmas time. 101 Alphabets will be done on Sundays, every Sunday. Pandemic, I'm going to try and squeeze Pandemic. There's a group called Magazine Monthly Challenge, and they have challenges in there, and so I think I'm going to be participating in that, and in their challenges where it has your goals or whatever, then I'm going to put in the random pieces like Pandemic, Eastern Beauty, Snow White, and pieces like that. So we'll see what this year brings. Hopefully I will be able to keep up with a floss tube, and I will see you guys again next time.